Event. Lots of big things have happened recently, so I'd love to update you guys. And this week we're gonna be to talk more about deflation, inflation, and what I believe is gonna happen is stagflation. So we'll be able to answer all of your questions. Just make sure that we're able to give you the advice needed to make the right moves to move forward and be prepared for the coming economy. So, so Hannah, just so you know, it doesn't show me live. I can't.
Reset it.
Oh, now it does show me live. There we go.
User error.
What's up, Rich? Good to see you. Awesome. So, how's everybody been? It's good to see everybody again. It's been a minute since I had my last live event, but things have been super busy. Bought a bunch of properties. Almost bought a property on the water, but it just didn't work out. But more good things coming. I'm buying a 14-bed ALF, and I'm converting it into 5 two-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Should be generating a lot of money from that property. Great location. There's another property that's currently down the street, 3,600 square feet, that's selling for 1.3 million, and it's not remodeled. This property is 5,000 square feet, and we're getting it for around like $800,000. So post reno, we're going to be in probably for like 1.2 to 1.3 million, and the value should be closer to like 1.8, 1.9 million. So it's burning the commercial property. So it's really awesome. Lots of fun, lots of money. Great long-term hold. So we got a lot of other stuff going. I'm working on actually a diamond property, something that's in an A+ area. So right now, this economy is it's made it so kind of bipolar. It's either the deals don't make any sense at all. They're really high price, high value, multi-million-dollar deals. They're not really making much sense, and the low price deals are not making any sense. There's a few deals in the middle that are making sense, and it's taking some time to find them and to make them work. But when you can make them work, it's really awesome. What's up, Davis? So today we're going to be talking about again, inflation, deflation, and stagflation. So send in the questions. I want to make sure to answer all of them for you and to help you prepare for the coming economy. Like, it's going to be some crazy times. It's going to be times that we haven't seen in like 40, 50 years. So you have to be prepared to make sure that you can still have a stable lifestyle with all the issues coming. All right. All right. What's up, Yard? Good to see you. So, for those that don't understand what inflation is when the cost of goods keep increasing, and not because of supply and demand, but because of the printing. They print more money is in the system, which causes inflation, and that's been the goal since roughly 1970, and they've been causing inflation to happen for roughly 2 to 3% a year, and that was the goal based off of our monetary system. Our monetary system is a debt-based system, so they've been printing money every year. Now, currently, we're in a hyperinflationary period where they're printing lots of money, and it's going to cause hyperinflation. Cost of goods are going to go significantly up. Cost of oil is going to go up. Transportation, everything is going to be going up. Now, what we're also going to start seeing is some deflationary items. And so deflation is basically when the cost of goods in the production of certain items gets reduced. So less jobs available, some assets and some items are going to be worth less, and it's going to cause a depression. And when you have inflation, cost of everything goes up, everything's more expensive to buy. When you have deflation, you don't have money to afford what is available, and what's available is very limited. Finally, I believe we're actually going to have a hybrid of the two, which is called stagflation. where the cost of goods are going to keep going up, the amount of goods available are going to go down, the amount of people that can find jobs will decrease, and some of the people with the right jobs will have increasing pays, and people that are on the lower end are going to have decreasing income. So it is going to be a very strategic and rough time for the country because a large group of people are going to not have jobs and everything's going to be more expensive. Another group of people have assets, their assets are going to keep going up, but even if they do want something, it's going to be very hard to find and they're going to have to pay a lot for it. In that type of environment, the kind of environment we've created, it's not really a win-win environment, it's a lose-lose environment. And it just comes out to say who's losing the least. It's really unfortunate. We should have a different setup. I created a video, was it like a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a week ago regarding the issues of inflation, deflation, and stagflation. It should be coming soon to YouTube and how you can prepare for it with step by step to make sure that you are in the right position. But all in all, the best ideas for you to do to prepare for stagflation is anything that you need and you're going to use, buy it. I'm not saying go and buy a new car. If you don't need a new car, don't do that. But if you need anything, I personally buy extra supplies for the house. When COVID hit and there was no toilet paper, I already had months worth of toilet paper. Not because I'm a hoarder, but because if I'm going to go to Sam's Club, I want to make sure I'm filling up the truck and I don't want to waste my time, just coming with an empty truck. I want to make sure I'm getting the maximum amount possible. So it sounds very simple, but the reality is when you're having a bunch of supplies and you're buying an extra $1,000, $2,000 worth of supplies, which you're gonna spend anyway, every year those supplies go up 5-10%. You're saving 5-10%. When you can do that, it adds up. Every little bit adds up. So things like paying down your high interest rate credit card because you're not really earning money elsewhere to offset that. So again, if you don't have any income, it's going to be difficult to pay down your credit cards. But what I'm saying is, if you have the money, it's best for you to pay down your credit cards because if you're not in the right asset, in the right assets, your assets themselves could actually devaluate and go down in price. So Yarg says, do you lease your cars? Yarg, I don't lease my cars. I try to hack my cars. There's actually an Instagram called Car Hackers, and they talk a lot about it. And basically, I buy cars at a price that is at or below market. I use them within a period of time, and then I resell them after a while. So after, say, maybe 2 years or a year. At that point, I can get the maximum enjoyment out of it, but I have the least amount of loss when I'm owning it. If you lease, you're going to basically get 100% of the loss. So you really don't want to lease, like my i8, it's like 150,000, 155,000 for the pure impulse model. After 3 years, it's worth like 80,000. So you don't want to lose a large sum of money to enjoy using the car, right? Now again, if you lease the car, it's $1,500 a month. If you own the car, you would have lost $2,000 a month. But again, if you buy the car used and you're getting it for $80,000 or $70,000, and then you sell it 2 years later, you're not really losing much money on the value of the car. It's less than lease. To Mobin CH says, to flee inflation, we must produce and keep our assets. Must, yes. You're right, I agree. To actually fight inflation and to fight a stagflation, the best thing for us to do is actually start producing items in this country. I go into detail in my YouTube video, but generally speaking, if we aren't producing items in this country, we will not be able to fight inflation and stagflation properly. If we're not putting people back to work so they can produce items for the country, that then causes natural spending because other people will spend their money to buy these items. will cause the money flow and cause a natural flow of money to go back into our system. Right now our economy is like a sick patient that's not having good blood flow. You can put all the blood transfusions you want into the person, but if you can't get the blood to flow properly through the person, you're going to consistently have problems. So, in the same scenario, our country is not flowing the blood properly. The money is not flowing properly. The government's just giving us money. Well, if the people aren't going out and producing items, they're never going to naturally put out more items for us to buy. For then, it goes back into the market. And now those individuals that are working, making money, are going to buy stuff. And it's going to constantly make the cycle keep moving. We need to get back to producing because there's a large class of the country that are people that are producers that would work well with working with their hands. And those jobs actually do pay very well, but we need to focus that. Part two with how we need to focus that is actually start educating people on how to do the trades. Because, for example, welders get paid very well. We need to start training people how to be welders from high school so when they leave, they can actually get a high paying job. They can make $20, $30, $40 an hour. Where currently, if you leave college, the average college student only makes, I think, like $17 an hour. So it's unfortunate, but we need to start training people in the trades that we need to better the country. So everyone's talking about the infrastructure bill. And one of the most annoying things to me about the concept of the infrastructure bill, in addition to the fact that it's a whole lot of fat in the bill, is that for us to have proper infrastructure build out in this country, we need skilled trades. We've lost a lot of skilled trades since the '08 crash. And we didn't do much to actually educate enough people to get into the skilled trades. And the people that are trying to get into the skilled trades didn't have the people that basically retired in '08 there to educate them on how to be successful in the business, how to learn the trades, all the tips and tricks. We need people to actually build out our infrastructure. If we don't have the people, we're going to end up paying a ridiculous amount of money to get the infrastructure built out, and it's going to take a very long time. We need to be focusing on making sure that the people in our country are educated in a way so they actually have a job where they benefit and they can provide a living for their family. At the same time, they're providing a service to the country. That is what we really should be doing to fight inflation and stagflation. That's what we need to do to really rebuild this country because a lot of people want good paying jobs and we have to make sure that we're providing them. And it's not happening right now. It's really disappointing. All right. So the real says XRP. Yeah, I own XRP. I've been in it for a while. It's actually my longest holding. I've held XRP longer than any other cryptocurrency. My second cryptocurrency was Chainlink, and I own a lot of that as well. I believe in both, coins. I do have Bitcoin. I do have some ETH. I do have Cardano. I do have some other stuff too. But my big holdings are XRP and what did I say?
Chainlink.
Chainlink, yes. I don't know where I was going by. Oh, I'm also really big in Hedera Hashgraph. So it's the cryptocurrency Amazon uses. So, yeah, Chainlink is XRP is amazing. Chainlink did amazing today. It's a good day.
Hey, Baskal.
Razin says no sound. I hear sound. I hear sound on this one.
Yeah, there's sound.
So, Hannah, do you have a question?
Yeah. So in regards to inflation, what are just simple, easy steps for a middle class family to kind of guard themselves and set themselves up financially?
So something simple like a middle class family can do. That means they own their home. That means they have probably some stocks, has a retirement account, things like that. So depending on the individual, so I'll give you an example of some of my clients. I told them to do a cash out refi because when you take out the cash out of your home, the loan itself is like shorting the American dollar. So if you're shorting something that you know is going to go down, since we know they're going to print more money, the value of the dollar is going to drop. So if you take a loan on something that's going to drop, that's your benefit because later you're going to pay it back when it's worth less. So take out a big loan on your home, take the cash out, you're shorting the dollar, you're winning that way. Part two, you then get a home equity line of credit, get more cash. Use that cash to buy properties in high quality areas that have high demand and consistent demand. I buy properties where there's medical hospitals. So the property we're buying right now, there's two major hospitals by it. There's a baseball stadium by it. There's a college by it. There's a downtown market and there's a Waters by it. So again, two hospitals, the water, the college, the baseball stadium, and tons of businesses. So the demand there is going to be consistent, good times and bad times. So when you have your money in something that you know that's going to be consistently quality area and consistent income, that's another way you're going to hedge your risk. Because during these rough economic times, the stock market gets very volatile, and you have to be very careful about that. Other than that, I would pay down any debt that is high interest rate debt because you want to open up your cash flow. So the main goal is to have a significant amount of cash flow from your W-2 and from your side hustles and your investments. Because if anything happens and say you lose your job, you want to make sure that you have investments that's paying you large sums of cash flow because you're going to get the stability that you need to get back on your feet. People don't go through rough times because they don't have enough equity in their house. They have a rough time when they don't have enough cash to cover their living expenses. So you want to make sure that you're putting you in a position where you have a great cash flow from multiple streams of income, so you can diversify your risk and always be comfortable or not uncomfortable when the rough times come.
We have a question here on the chat. How can you maximize as an Airbnb host?
So how to maximize your profits as an Airbnb host. That is great because it's really dependent on your area, and if you're really skilled at it, you study your market, you know what the people want, you can make a lot of money, and where another host doesn't. I have a high occupancy on my Airbnbs where other people in the market have a very low occupancy. And I get better rents than other people as well for very basic reasons. One of the reasons that one of the things that people look for is quality beds and quality furnishings. Doesn't mean it has to be expensive. It just needs to look good, look clean. It needs to be clean, and the bed needs to be of good quality. You don't need the most expensive bed frame, but it needs to look nice, be sturdy, but the mattress itself needs to be really good. Because people care about the mattress, they care about their hot water, how clean the place is, and how strong your internet is. That's going to give you more listings, more consistent listings. Now, how do you maximize your profits? One of the ways I do it is on my 16 unit, and let's just say you don't have a 16 unit, so I'll give you another example. I have a client that has a 4-unit property that they're looking to make an Airbnb. I told them, rewire the property so you have one internet bill, one cable bill, and all of the units get fed off of that one bill. So instead of paying $150 a month for 4 units, which is $600 a month, you would pay $150 a month for 1 unit. Now that $450 you're saving a month, if you're on a 5 cap, in a 5 cap market, we're talking about an additional 20 so you're about $90,000 in value. And you're making you're saving $450 a month. So money saved is money earned. In that one scenario, you're saving over $5,000 a year. So that means it's an extra $5,000 a year in your pocket. Another thing that I do is instead of having 4 water heaters, where an average water heater will charge you $30 to $50 a month in electric, I don't have 4 separate water heaters. I have one water heater for the full building. I get a commercial grade tankless gas water heater. Commercial grade tankless gas water heater. And I have one gas meter feeding it. Because I'm going to pay all the utilities for my Airbnbs, it doesn't have to be split. So now I'm providing hot water that's instantaneous, which is going to satisfy the client, and at the same time, because I'm not paying $140 a month extra on electric, I'm only paying $35 a month for gas. I'm saving there $105 a month, which gives me an extra $1,200 a year, and it's also increasing the property value another $20,000. So the different things I just mentioned to you, those 2 things I mentioned to you, increase the property value $110,000. Now you might say, Baskal, it's a 4-unit property. What are you talking about? How is it increasing $110,000? Because it doesn't work that way. In the commercial world, when you're buying commercial properties, and an Airbnb fourplex is going to be commercial property, if you're selling it in the right area to the right buyer, you're going to be selling it as an Airbnb, as a commercial property. In that scenario, it goes based off of your cash flow. I have a fourplex in a market. I've told you this story before. It's about $180,000 I bought this fourplex. I would say today it's worth $1 million. And it's only been 8 years, but it's in an area I can Airbnb in a great market. There's another fourplex they just built ground up with a pool. They're selling their property, I believe it's 2,000 square feet. They're selling their property for $2.2 million. They've also already been offered $1.8 million and they declined it. So that's another fourplex because it's an Airbnb property and it's run as an Airbnb property and all the performance is based off of that. They're asking for that and they're selling it by a commercial broker. So there is money if the business is done properly. So those are some great ways to increase your profitability and to increase client retention and satisfaction.
Someone wants to go live with you.
I can't see it, but
Because it hasn't gone yet.
let me know when it's ready. So all right. So let me see if I can find a few more tips. I can't see it.
You didn't read any of the comments?
I
Okay.
can't see them on my end right now. So can't read this. Oh no, there's a lot of these that isn't showing up on my side.
Because your phone, yeah.
No, I mean anyway, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you need more books, my friend. Oh, do I? This is not satisfactory. Actually, there's some over there too. So, hey, you know what? Here we go.
Y'all made him stand up.
So these are actually 4. I actually got 8 books signed by Robert Kiyosaki, but these are 4 of the books that I got signed by Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm planning to give 2 of these away. Right? So I'm planning to give 2 of these away, and it's a pretty simple way to win. You have your friends follow me on Instagram and on YouTube. Now, when they follow me, they're going to leave a comment that they said that, they followed me and that you referred them and so on. Every single person that you get to follow me gets a chance to win. The person that follows me and the person that refers them both get a book. So each of them will get a signed copy of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. That means the more people you invite, the more chances you get in winning the book. So I love win-win situation. So it was actually great meeting Robert. Really cool dude, ex-Marine, definitely a Marine, and great insight. And I really loved it because he's just a simple guy that really pushed hard, hustled hard, and just put in the work to be successful. And that's really what I love about America. When people say the American dream's dead, I'm gonna say no, it's not dead. I came here when I was 3. I wasn't born here, and just put in the work and made it, and was able to have the dream, which is have your freedom. Now, if you want that, you can get it. All you have to do is work for it.
It's almost alive.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
While we wait, do you want to answer 88 Miss Sunshine?
Where should I be looking to find a good deal, make a good profit? So I look everywhere. I look on Zillow. I look on Realtor.com because for some reason they don't show everything. I look on Crexy. I look at LoopNet, and I think there's one other commercial one. I look for deals. Sometimes there is duplexes on the commercial platforms that are not on the residential platform. The interesting is that's awesome because they're going to get very few. They're going to get very few offers because if someone's trying to sell a $300,000 duplex, most people that are on Crexy, they're looking for a $3 million property. So very few people are going to be interested. Gives you a better opportunity to come in and make a deal. So it looks like someone tried to go live, but it was all black.
Oh. Do you
All
need
right.
this comment?
I'm planning to buy land, and if it's my first ever investment, what can I look for in order to make my investment profitable? So personally, I don't buy land unless I'm planning to build right away. Land is it is a nice investment, but why I don't go for it right away is it does not generate cash flow. It costs you cash flow. You have to pay taxes. You have to make sure you have insurance, and you have to make sure you're maintaining it because you can be fined by a city for not cutting the grass. If someone else dumps garbage on your land, you'll be fined for not cleaning up. If you put up a fence and then someone dumps garbage anyway, you'll still be fined. You have to clean it up. So, okay. So, if it's not profitable and you don't have a real exit plan, you got to make sure that you're prepared for that.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Someone's live? Right?
Yep.
Okay, so can you hear me?
His Wi-Fi is
I don't know if you can hear me.
not working right now. It said he's commenting.
Okay.
So in the meantime, did you want to close out on that?
So basically, if you're going to buy land, make sure you have a good entry and exit strategy. If you're planning to hold long term, you're basically betting that the land value is going to go up. Conceptually, that's good, but most people that are starting, if you're going to buy land, it is fine, but I don't think it's the best option. Unless you are planning to make a move quickly or you're very sure it's going to go up aggressively in a short period of time. Otherwise, if you're going to buy a piece of land for $20,000 and then, over 5 years, it's only worth, say, $25,000, it's going to cost you probably $2,000 to $3,000 to sell the thing. So now you only made $2,000. And 10% is nice, but if you average it over 5 years, you only made roughly 2% a year. And that's not counting your expenses for taxes and maintenance and possibly insurance. So be very strategic because a lot of times I have a saying. I said, don't get feed out. What that means, don't get feed out, is I see most people, when they try to make certain moves, they spend all this money on fees, in charges. I'll give you an example. This one kid was trying to diversify himself, so he bought a bunch of crypto. And every few weeks, he would buy $100 worth of crypto and different types of crypto. Well, every time he was buying crypto, he was paying $2 to $4. Then he would trade the crypto to a different wallet that paid higher interest. Then he would swap some crypto for other crypto, which cost him more fees. By the time he went back and forth with all these fees, he didn't really make any money. He just spent a lot of time, or he should have just bought and held it and did nothing. And sometimes you shouldn't $100 at a shop, because if you're paying $4 in fees, that's 4%. That's a significant amount of money. So you should maybe wait till you have $500 worth of $500 saved up, and then buy it in one shot. That way, you're paying a reduced percentage based off of the amount of money. So in addition to that.